So I know it doesn't look it because the sun is out, but winter is officially here. It's dropped down to 4 degrees and sometimes it feels like -1. And with any new season, anytime we go into a new season, it's important to prepare ourselves to face it. And for instance, when coming out today, I had to put on my woolly socks, my boots, my big puffer jacket, and my scarf to ensure that I could weather the weather. To ensure that I was prepared for the weather. And the same principle applies for your business. As we go into this new year, here are 4 things I'm doing today to prepare for tomorrow. So the first thing you can do is to celebrate the little things that you've achieved so far. For instance, for me, this year was the second book I've published with a publisher that's been out, and I am totally chuffed about it. It means that I'm along the path in my larger vision to become an established author and illustrator of children's books. Celebrating that little victory keeps me motivated to move forward in the year coming forward, even though it's going to be tough to sell stories to publishers. It's going to be tough to write and create them. Reflecting back on what's happened so far also shows me areas that I do need to focus in on, areas that I need to grow some more so that I can do better. So for instance, right now, my YouTube channel needs more work. My ability to film and tell stories through YouTube is an area that I know I need to grow in. And so this is one area that I'm going to focus in on. So after reflecting comes the hard job of realigning and reassessing. So basically, I'm going to be looking at my goals and my mission and asking myself the question, have I met my goals? Have I met my mission? And if not, what is preventing me from getting there? Do I need to reassess the amount of energy I'm putting into certain jobs because they're taking away from the potential impact? So for example, there are certain platforms I'm in, such as Instagram, where even though I've put in a lot of effort, I've put in lots of time, the payoff is no longer worth the energy I'm putting in because the engagement has dropped drastically since I've grown. And so rather than focusing on a short-term platform like Instagram, where content is here one day and gone tomorrow, I want to focus in on 2 specific platforms. Number 1 is YouTube, because it has longevity and the content stays evergreen. So years later, you could still search on a certain topic and my video could crop up. Whereas that's not really relevant on platforms like Instagram. The second platform is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the most underrated platforms, especially for creatives, and maybe I'll do a more in-depth video on how to maximize LinkedIn. But for me personally, I find that this is where all the businesses are, and this is where you need to build a network and build connections that will then potentially get you new clients. The third thing I'm going to do is assess the market and see what is changing out there. Does my business need to adapt? Does it need to shift tactics to stay relevant to the ever-changing world that we live in? For instance, the introduction of AI to produce art. Is this something that I need to be worried about? Is this something that I should take into consider? Maybe I can incorporate it into my process to speed it up. Until I take the time to dig deep into these areas, I'm not going to know, and I'm not going to be able to adapt my business to match the demand that is asked for by the market. And so taking the time to assess your positioning within the marketplace and what is happening out there is an important step. One thing I've specifically noticed is that content creation has really taken a strong foothold and is here to stay in the future. And so if you're a graphic designer, illustrator, creator of any kind, I would advise you to start producing some form of content, start building your own audience. When you have your own audience, you're no longer reliant on other companies, on the people who are the gatekeepers to give you access. Now you have access to your customer directly. You have access to your audience directly. You can speak to them and they can speak back and ask you what they want from you, and you can give them that. So I think it's crucial moving forward that you build in a strategy to build content. And the last thing I'm going to do to prepare for the new year is, of course, rest. Because when you work from a place of rest, then you work from a place of clarity, and you can make a huger impact as you move forward. That's it for me today. Be true, be you, stay fruitful.
Thanks for watching.